Guys, welcome. It's almost 1 o'clock over here in beautiful New Jersey. We're just letting some folks in. This is, Ask Us Anything about sales with me, Ron Saharian, co-founder of Profit First Professional. I'm joined today with Michelle Weinstein, aka the Pitch Queen, the Abundant Accountant, all of that great stuff, as well as Liz Sporn. Liz Sporn is one of my right hand people over here at Profit First Professionals that helps educate our global membership organization on how to unseat the incumbent. Right.
Ooh,
And
that sounds so fancy. So
well, that's
fancy.
what we're talking about today, guys. My experience in this industry is a lot of businesses have been built on referrals, and I get it, and that's great. You get what you get when you're referrals, and it should be a part of your business. But if you really, really, really want to work with the primo customers, chances are they already are happy with their accountant or bookkeeper, and if they happen to see something you post, happen to reach out, happen to click on something, well, you better be in a position to share your value and the benefits to unseat the incumbent because that's what they're looking for. They're looking and evaluating and determining why should I leave what I already have? I'm happy with what I'm doing right now. Maybe it could be better, but I don't know. But I need to have a compelling reason to upend everything, give somebody access to lift up the hood to see that my company probably isn't doing as well as I could be. And so there's a lot of fear and angst and everything like that. And so we're here today to share with you what we've learned and how we teach our respective customers and shared customers. Actually, we have a lot of shared customers, which is awesome. By the way, Michelle teaches Profit First Professionals how to unseat the incumbent. Okay, she's is the go-to sales trainer for our global organization. So Michelle is here because not only is she's great, but her stuff works. So we will open it up to you guys. But Liz and Michelle, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? And then Liz, why don't you go ahead and say hello as well?
Okay. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm Michelle, the founder of The Abundant Accountant. And here we help firm owners, not only increase revenue, but get control of your sales conversations. So you never feel ghosted by clients. You never get ghosted by clients. You don't feel underappreciated and undervalued anymore, but you actually feel really confident in your sales conversations so that you have full control over what the outcome is and you're getting paid up front before you do any work. So that's what we do here.
Yeah, yeah. Who here does not like sales? Can you put it in the chat? Say, do you like sales or not like sales? Let's see what some of the folks are. Is sales a dirty word for you? Is sales a bad word? Are you uncomfortable when you're going through sales training? Okay. So if you are, that's normal. I don't like sales. Yeah, there you go, Lynn. I know. Right. And other people have said it over the years. Well, it's uncomfortable for you. Okay. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. No one likes rejection. That's what the uncomfortableness is, hey, they don't like us. They don't want to date us. That we're not
Right,
pretty enough. We're not smart
right.
enough. We're not good enough. And so, what we're doing is trying to impress on the sales calls. And sometimes when we're trying to impress, we're not sharing. We're not explaining. We're not listening. We're trying to convince them that we are the experts. Okay. You're already a trusted advisor. You're already an expert, but you have to give them compelling reasons why. One of the tips that I like to say is don't call it sales, call
Yeah,
it
call it
response.
helping people or
Yeah.
serving people or something like
Educating.
that.
I
Yeah,
like to
educating.
I like to teach. We're teaching. Teaching you, we're helping you walk away with something that you didn't know when you walked in. That's it. If you
Right.
like it, cool. If not, cool. Now we know
So,
that.
and I think Liz is hitting the nail on the head. Okay. One of the things that I've learned is our mindset when we're approaching sales needs to be one in a way that, well, this works for me. ownership.
Holy cow. That
Sorry
stinks.
about that, guys.
Sorry, everybody. Jeez
Yeah,
Louise.
technology. It's heating up here in America.
Oh, man.
Okay.
So sorry, everyone.
I was just about to share one of the most important things. Yeah, sorry guys. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Matt.
Yeah, yeah. And if you guys want to come on video and show your faces and roll
Yeah.
your eyes at us and smile, that's fine too. Okay. The participation is key, and it feeds us. So as I was saying, as I'm, going through, one of the things that I believe is that, my organization, okay, I believe so much that, by working with us as profit first professionals, you'll be stronger than if you're not working with us. Okay. And so that is the exact mindset that you should have when you're talking to any prospect, that this customer is going to be so much better with me doing their books, their accounting, than they would without me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And should they choose not to go forward with you, their loss, not your loss. It's making room for customers that appreciate you, want to work with you. Okay. Their loss. That's the mindset. Once we have that mindset, okay, great. We don't care. It doesn't matter. Now, what we need to do is just share the value and the benefits of working with us and why you want to work with us. Okay.
Yep. And I think the other thing too, Ron, is that if we hate sales or if we feel uncomfortable about it, we have to shift our perspective and we have to look at it from a different lens. Whereas, yes, they're better with us than without us, but if we don't learn the skill set of selling and having people engage our firm, then we can't actually help somebody. So sometimes
Right.
when firm owners end up giving away free advice or you cave in on your price or any of that, we're actually hurting not only ourselves, but we're hurting our clients, because then if free advice only gets you so far, but when they engage your firm, then you can actually fix the problem and solve a problem. So, most firm owners have incredible technical skills, but when we have zero structure around sales, that's what not only costs us thousands of dollars of missed revenue, but we're actually not able to help these clients that need you. So I like to shift it in that if you learn the skill set and you can figure out how to engage these people in your firm, then you're helping more people.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's open it up to some questions here. I mean, Michelle and myself, we could go on and on and on all day
Yeah.
long, but this is really about you. And if anybody has any particular situations that is, regularly coming up, or they have any particular questions, please raise your hand and ask away. Okay. And one of the things,
I was going to say, one of the things that I wanted to ask, we've been getting this a lot. I get these a lot on our discovery calls. I get these a lot on our social media, is, sort of what do we do? So we'll just sort of go State of the Union really fast. How are sales impacted when things seem uncertain? And I hear this from everybody. They're sort of like, I don't know, my clients are afraid to make decisions. I'm a little nervous to make a decision. So I'd love to hear from both of you on how you feel sales are impacted when life feels a little sketchy. Michelle, I'll start with you.
Yeah, so I believe that, what do they say, like during uncertain times and during pandemics and during weird elections and all that, people either thrive and move forward or people regress and move backwards. But I think during those times, that's when the most millionaires are created. Like people either go up or we stay in fear and scarcity and watch the news and go down rabbit holes.
yeah. Yeah.
So I believe, oh, you're going to have to go, Ron.
Okay, sorry, Michelle's recovering from a cold here. So yeah, absolutely. I think it's opportunity. I love when things are wacky and crazy
Right.
out there, because if we're the trusted advisor, right? People are going to be coming to us for our advice. They're going to be coming to us, for how we're going to handle various situations. Okay. So one of the things is to look at yourself, and let's raise ourselves from being the trusted advisor to maybe the authority. Okay.
Mhm.
When you're the authority in something, people are going to be seeking you out. They're going to be asking you questions. They're going to be asking you how you navigated these times. They're going to be looking for you to have the crystal ball. Okay. And so, when things are there's a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of fear mongering. The chicken little, the sky's always falling. This is happening. That's happening. Us as business owners, Main Street business owners primarily, okay, we need to move through that. Okay. We need to realize that our job here is to run the very best business that we can run for ourselves and for our staff, right? We need to enroll great customers, right? So we can help them through these tumultuous times. And
Yeah.
every single one of you has this experience. Everything you've done to this point has been a success. You've made it this far. Okay. Right. So this is opportunity for you to draw on previous experiences, right? And to be proactive, to come forward. You all made it through COVID. How'd you do that?
Well,
Right?
and okay, my voice is back, sort
Okay.
of. So what I was saying is that during those uncertain times is when we thrive. So it's all about, where do you focus your energy? Are you focusing it on the news? Are you focusing it on uncertainty? Or are you focusing on opportunity? And I believe that this is an opportunity, right? For those people that do tax, there's this new like tax bill. This is a massive opportunity to capitalize on upselling services, being proactive, getting clients to meet with you. Because I go to the mall and I go out to restaurants and they're still packed. Nothing's changed. So people are still investing in the things that they feel are important to them.
Yeah.
So if shopping and food is important to them, we need to make our services important to them for them to see the value. So you can command a high fee and you can put that person in a better position. Okay.
Right. And also, value starts at hello. Are we, when you answer the phone, is it an Eeyore that's answering it, or is it somebody that's pleasant? What is your demeanor? Are you letting the outside forces, actually come through you during prospect calls? Right? Keep that in mind, right? Because we want to be positive. People want to work with positive people. People want to work with people that have been there, done that. They want to work with the authority. They want to work with the trusted advisor to help them through this stuff. This is all sales, right? Everything you do with a customer is sales. Everything you do with a prospect is sales.
Yeah.
And so what we're talking about, let's get this back to sales. We got the right mindset. We're going to be positive. We're going to use what's going out there as opportunity, but we need a framework. We need a sales framework, something that's going to allow us to control the conversation, something that's going to allow us to provide the value and the benefits of working with you. Who here does not have a framework? Okay. Right.
I
It,
can share one.
yeah. Well, yeah, we'll share one. But here's the thing. If you don't have a framework, okay, you're winging it.
Yeah.
When you're winging it, that's not a pro does not wing it. The professional sales gal does not wing it. The executive that's running a successful business is not winging it. So let's prepare. So Michelle, why don't you said you had a framework? You want to talk about it?
Yeah, I do. Just keep talking for a second. I'm going to find it and then I'll share my screen.
Okay. So here's the thing with frameworks. Frameworks are not necessarily scripts. Frameworks is something that you
Mhm.
play within. Tennis, for example, tennis, I use this example all the time. We have a particular framework that we teach here at Profit First Professionals. Okay. And you want to stay like tennis, you want to stay within the box, right? But how you play is your personality, your style. Some use backhand, some use forehand, some use drop shots, some use lobs. Some of us are gregarious. Some
Okay.
of us are like Spock. Okay. Right. It doesn't matter. But if you have the proper framework, it doesn't matter because that'll allow you to continue the conversation and not get sucked into the problem solving mode.
hmm
Okay. Right, Michelle?
Yeah, I have, and my framework, Ron, is more like the steps to take in
Yes.
order to get the outcome so you can engage them, right?
Yep.
So I can share my screen. It's from a presentation that I did. You can see my screen.
Yep.
So I believe that the framework is first we have to understand our values. So that's like, what are we providing to a client and what are we worth? And that's a whole conversation itself. But basically, that's how you can understand how to price. You can think about all of the education that you've done, all of the things you've learned from Liz and Ron, all of your CPE credits, all the podcasts you listened to, all the books you've read. It's like, because all of us are in a service-based industry, we actually don't have physical inventory, right? But if you look at a different business, you figure out the value of that business from whatever's on their balance sheet and inventory and cash and all this, but we're so different. Our value's in our head, right? So I know, like, if you think about what you're worth, think about everything that you've done up here for the last 30, 40, 50, 60 years, however many of it's been, right? And add that up, and that becomes your value. Now, the other thing we have to do in the framework that I say is we can't show up to sales meeting unprepared. So being prepared encompasses a few things, like getting documents from your prospects before you even meet with them. So you're not wasting time with people who don't qualify to work with you, right, Ron? Like looking at a QuickBooks file before you're gonna, QuickBooks and financials or whatever else, if you're gonna be offering Profit First as a service or as a solution to somebody's problem. I like to think of being prepared is like going to a dentist office or getting ready for surgery with a doctor. When you go to the dentist, you first sit in the hygienist chair and then you have to get your x-rays, right? And then after that, well, they also have you fill out paperwork before you even get x-rays. And then you go to the hygienist, they clean your teeth and she's looking for things, right? And then you go see your dentist. But the dentist, by the time he sees the patient, they've filled out their paperwork, they've gotten x-rays, they've gotten their teeth cleaned. Now he's got everything he needs to see what's going on, right? Okay, there goes the voice.
Well, I could fill in while you're
Okay,
getting a sip of
strategic
water.
question.
So another thing for prepared is something that, that works really well with me is outcome-based thinking and pre-call planning. Okay. Pre-call planning is taking a
Yeah.
look at the website, taking a look at social media.
Yeah.
Do you know whether or not have you worked with this industry before? Is there any common connections? So we have the a little bit of pre-call planning, and we're going to use that later on. But also outcome-based thinking. This is what professional athletes do. They envision themselves taking the winning shot. They envision themselves running across the goal line. Well, as a business owner, I like to do, outcome-based thinking. How do I know this is a good conversation? What indications are it comes out of the prospect's mouth that are going to tell me, you know what, this is just not a fit. I need to end this conversation right now. What
Yeah.
do I want the next steps of this meeting to be? How do I know if this customer is going to be right for us? So we're thinking of all the things that, are determining whether or not we want to work with this person, while we're also strategically preparing to share the value and the knowledge that we also have. So those are two particular little additional pieces to the
Totally.
paired work.
Yeah, that I would add to the prepared circle. Then when you prepare though, Ron, we also have to think about what questions we would want to ask, right? Like when the dentist comes in, they start rattling off questions if he sees that, oh, that tooth might need a root canal. That one has a cavity. What is going on with this person's diet? What are they eating? What are they brushing? Are they flossing, right? Like he comes in with all these questions because he's trying to solve the problem of what the heck's going on. So for us, we need to do the same. We need to think about these questions in advance. Like, Lionel, what is the biggest challenge with your firm as it relates to your sales process? You mentioned you hate sales. I'm just curious, like, what's gone on? What's gotten you to that point? Share with me what's gone on. And I can do a role play with you if you want to understand what kind of questions you would want to ask your prospects.
Yeah. You can also, there's a lot of great questions out there, but one of the things is we don't want to ask the same questions as everybody else. We've learned that if we can, prepare some higher level questions and control it in the
Correct.
framework. I like to start off every question after I say, hey Liz, I was preparing for this meeting. I was doing my pre-call planning. I was checking out your website. I saw that you're in this industry. I'm breaking the ice, basically. I'm breaking the ice. And then I need a transition statement. Okay.
Yeah.
A transition statement that is something that brings you from one quadrant to the next quadrant. The transition statement that I like to use is, may I have your permission to ask you personal questions about your business? It's
Yeah.
polite. It means shit's about to get real.
Yeah. Ron, you want to add something to that?
Yeah.
You could say, this is going to be kind of like an onion. If you've ever seen an onion, it's got all these layers, right? So I want to ask you these personal questions, but I really want to get to the root of that onion, that middle piece of really what's going on in the business, or for you, Lionel, like what's really the challenge around your sales. So I'm going to be peeling back the layers just like an onion. And if you've been in Ron's garden, I'm sure he's got a bunch of them. And, the outer part is going to be kind of like my first kind of open-ended question. And then each layer of the onion, I'm going to get more specific because I really want to be able to serve and support you, but I really need to understand what's going on today. So does that work for you? And I like how Ron said it. You always ask for permission.
Yeah. And then once they do, that gives, you can ask them anything. What you don't want to ask is,
Right.
How many transactions do you have?
Yeah,
What
no.
industry are you in? How many bank accounts are you in? What is your software? These are all generic questions. These are all questions that you have the answers to by looking at their accounting landscape. They're all questions that you're going to get answered anyway, So why don't we elevate our questions to more business questions,
Yeah.
such as, what do you want to achieve in your business? Market share, profitability, more time off? What do you want to reduce in your business? Double work, complaints, turnover, right? Let's talk about your cash flow clarity. Do you have cash flow clarity, meaning you're sitting with your accountant or bookkeeper and you're regularly going over your financials and you're correcting based upon those conversations?
Yeah.
Right? You're preparing yourself. You're asking different questions, things that they're not doing, that they're not getting, that you want to provide. And so when they say, you know what, I'm really not meeting with my accountants and bookkeepers on a regular basis. Okay. Well, that tells me that you need cash flow clarity, right? Do you understand the ebbs and flows, what's coming and going in your business? Meaning, at any particular point in time that your receivables are, in line
Yeah.
with what your expenses are going out,
Yeah.
right? So those are strategic questions to
I
ask.
have something else to give you a visual if you guys want to see it. Will that help for the questions, Lionel, since you say you aren't asking the right ones? Okay. Let me pull up something else real quick, and then we'll go to the other two for your framework per se. I need to just find the file real quick. But this is actually pulled right out of my course because I just did it. And actually, I redid the whole thing during tax season. So I was really busy. It's usually when I take off. That's probably why I feel like crap right now. But anyway, when you think about asking these questions, I would say you want to keep it as strategic as possible. And what I mean by that is you can think about your questions like an airplane. Okay, so I'm going to share a visual so you can see it. This is literally out of my third lesson. I'll make it bigger. Okay. So you can think about the questions like, right, the onion, we have our outer layer and then we're going in, or you can think about it from an airplane perspective. So like the first question would be an open-ended question. You know, what's the biggest challenge in your business? And then you could ask another one based on whatever they say. You could say, so Lionel, can you get off mute so we can actually go through this and I'll give you a real example?
I'll try.
Okay. What's the biggest challenge in your business as it relates to your sales process?
Like I said, I don't think I asked the right questions because in the conversation, I can't seem to move them along to get to the point where they're willing to make a decision to purchase from me.
Got it. Okay. And when you think about all the conversations that you've had that you have not been able to move ahead, what do you feel is the most like frustrating thing for you?
Not thinking well on my feet, I
Okay.
think.
Okay. Got it. Not thinking well on your feet. And when you think about not thinking well on your feet, I'm now going to ask you a quantifying question. Lionel, how many people have you met with but didn't purchase from you? And notice how I'm just using the words you just told me. You said purchase from you. I'm going to use the same words. I'm
Okay.
not going to say engage your firm because that's not how you speak. I'm just
Okay.
going to mirror how you speak.
Oh, okay.
So when you're with your clients, do the same thing. You don't have to think too hard. You
Okay.
just have to listen really good.
I think I try to think about the next thing I'm going to say instead of saying, or like what you just said, mirroring what they said,
Yeah,
rather than trying to, I shouldn't come up with what I need to say, to mirror what they say. I think that's what you're saying.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. So now the plane is descending. We're going to pull into the gate. We're trying to get to the point. So like now, for you, how many sales conversations have you had, let's say in the last month or 2 months, or you tell me what's best, that didn't purchase from you that you missed out on?
No, probably 10.
10? Okay.
Mhm.
And of those 10, what was the average value of those engagements?
About $4,000.
Okay. So my quantifying question is that Lionel lost $40,000 of missed revenue. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay, now I want to ask, how does that make you feel? Okay, so now I'm kind of landing the plane. We're not at the gate yet, but I'm trying to get to a feeling now. So Lionel, when you think about the $40,000 that you didn't get, the 10 clients you didn't help that didn't purchase, notice how I'm just using your words again, purchase from your firm. What is the most frustrating part about that for you?
Feel sad about it.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Frustrated.
Okay. Yeah. And now I want to get to urgency, Lionel. And this is probably the question that you want to start asking the most. Lionel, how much longer do you want to keep being sad and frustrated that you are not able to get these clients to purchase from you and move the conversation along so you can have that 40 grand in your bank account?
That's why I'm here today.
Right. So if you follow this pattern and you do this like 3 times in a sales meeting, you're going to have a very different result. Okay. This is literally in my program. So I just shared that with you.
Okay.
Do you have any questions about that, or Ron, your thoughts on that? I know you
Uh,
probably never seen that before.
I know, I love it. I love it. And it's a nice framework. You can apply this in accounting, you can apply it in selling anything, which is really good. One of the additional tips that we need to understand too is send me a proposal
Yeah.
is a soft no.
Oh, it's coming up on my bubbles, Ron.
Okay, sorry. Let's see your next bubble, Michelle, because
Okay.
I've got some tips on that bad boy as well to
Okay, good.
prevent people from ghosting you.
That's why you're amazing, because we're the same on that. Okay. So so we just covered the asking strategic question using, framing it with the onion analogy to the client. But for you guys thinking through being prepared, you want to ask and think about those questions before a meeting. You don't want to try to come up with it on the fly. I can do it on the fly because I've done this a few thousand times, maybe more than that. But for firm owners, we need to think ahead so you have structure and you can follow a process. Now, at the end of that, like Lionel, I just asked you, do you have any questions on that, right? So you want to ask them after you share what you can help them with, do you have any questions? And then, what does my last bubble say? My Zoom thing. Ask for the engagement. So this goes with Ron saying, I believe in taking a proactive approach pretty much on everything. If we take the reactive approach, where maybe not reactive, passive approach, I should say, where you're going to send a proposal, you're going to send a quote, and then you're going to have them ruminate on it on their own, where they can't ask you questions, it's going to leave you, missing out on 10 customers, right? So what I like to do is when you become prepared in the second bubble, you prepare an invoice. You prepare an engagement letter before you even meet with the client. Because if you did your homework up front, you should be pretty certain on what you're going to be offering them. It's like the doctor. My boyfriend's had a few surgeries. So he has to see an orthopedic. He has to see the cardiologist. He has to do all this blood work before surgery. By the time he actually sees the surgeon for surgery, it's like a 2-second conversation. He already knows what he's going to do because he had to get the MRI, the X-ray, all the things just to make sure he was ready for surgery. So think about it like with your clients, they're coming in for surgery. You should be so prepared that you really don't need to talk to them that much. But we are going to talk to them because we need to have them understand how big of a problem it is and that that's very important to solve, right? Like Lionel, I don't want you to go one more day without being able to convert 10 prospects into paying customers at $4,000 per value per client. That's a lot, right? I don't want you to be sad anymore. I'm going to do whatever it takes to help you see that, because at the end of the day, that's the thing that will put you into action, right? And we want our clients to get put into action too. So we need to say and ask for the engagement. And so what that looks like, Lionel, if I got to that point with you, I would say, great, I'm 100% confident, Lionel. I can make sure that you have your 40,000 plus in your bank account. You have confidence in every sales meeting you have. You know exactly the structure to follow, and that you are so happy and so ecstatic about helping these clients and seeing the revenue in your bank account that all of that, what you shared with me, is a thing of the past. Now, in order to work with me, I've got the invoice here, and I've got now if this was you from, I've got the invoice here, I've got the engagement letter. To work with me is $4,000 a month. How would you like to pay? I have an ACH agreement here, or I can do credit card. Which form of payment works best for you? And how can we get started so that you never have whatever those things are of the past? So you never waste any more time meeting with a client and having them not convert. You never miss another client at $4,000 a month of revenue. That's a thing of the past. How would you like to start, Lionel? Okay. So if you were meeting with your prospects, those 10 people, that's how you want to say it. And the beautiful thing about that is that you can handle an objection if you get one. People ghost you because, okay, Ron, Go
All
for it.
right. So sometimes, so sometimes, Michelle's technique is good. And sometimes the prospect might say, send me a proposal, send me a proposal. Okay. Now, there's a couple of different ways to approach this. Michelle has, and she'll share her ways. I'll share my way. There's no right or wrong. We're all just trying to, minimize bad proposals going out. So what I like to say, if anybody, they're not ready to sign on the dotted line for whatever reason, they say, send me a proposal. I ask them two specific questions. Okay. This is important. The first question I ask is, hey, Marissa, on a scale of 1 to 10, where does this priority sit? Is it a number one for us to come on in and provide you with clarity, accounting clarity, whatever, bookkeeping clarity on your list of initiatives? Where does this rank? Number one being the most important, number 10 being the least. You're looking for a 1 or a 2. Anything that's about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that's a red flag in my book. That means there's other things going on. Now, people have a tendency to fib and they want to see the proposal. So, okay, if they say it's a number 1 or a number 2, I want to validate that question. I want to validate the question by saying, hey, okay, I understand. So this is a number 1, 2 priority for you. If my proposal meets your needs, are you ready to start on Monday? Whoa, I can't start on Monday. I've got to hire this person. I got to do this. I got to do all this other stuff. So you're actually clarifying whether or not they're kicking tires or what their priority is and also what their commitment is. This is called the priority and commitment. Okay.
Mhm.
And then if both of those questions result in a 3, the answer is a 3 on either one of them, with all due respect, I have limited roster space available. I'm only sending proposals out to those where this is their number 1 priority. And when my proposal meets their needs, they're committed to starting right away.
Yeah.
Right. And then you build your list. Listen, when this is your number 1 priority, give me a call. If I have the roster spot, love to have another conversation with you. That's simple. And now you could still do all of this right. You could still say the commitment number 1, the priority number 1, all that great stuff. You schedule the meeting to go over the proposal, all of that great stuff. They don't show up. They
Mhm.
ghosted you. We initially, every time we get ghosted, that we default to, oh my God, my pricing. It's not your pricing. Maybe we didn't diagnose the hotness of this prospect. Maybe we didn't communicate the value and the benefits because we were trying to share too much, but there was other things going on. Okay. But bottom line, they didn't show up. Okay. Well, at least you have a tie back now. At least you're not calling, hey, we're supposed to meet today. You didn't show up. Give me a call back. You send an email. Hey, what's wrong? Give me a call. And you're following up all over the place. Okay. I found that there's a better way. And that is because you've asked those 2 questions and they acknowledge that it's their number 1, number 2 priority and they're committed. Say, hey, listen, Liz, business owner to business owner. Okay. How did my proposal not meet your needs? I asked because I thought this was your number 1 priority. And if my proposal met your needs, you were ready to start on Monday. Please give me a call back. Let me know, business owner to business owner. I truly felt that we would be able to help you accomplish XYZ PDQ. And I never want that to happen to somebody else. You will more than likely get closure. You'll either get a response that says, you know what, Ron, I've been so busy, blah, business priorities popped on up. Sorry, I can't do this. Or, hey, Ron, you know what? Thank you very much. I was just on vacation. Call me in 2 weeks. Hey, Ron, sorry, whatever. But you'll get some sort of feedback. Okay. Never think it's just your price.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not your price. It may be not gauging the customer. It may not be sharing the value and the benefits. It's maybe over communicating, maybe over trying to sell and share that you're a technical expert versus trying to show them that you're a business accountant, business bookkeeper, not just compliance, that you're actually able to work with them, business owner to help them achieve what they want.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense, guys?
I'm going to piggyback off of that one of the being bold and saying, what didn't I do? I've been, helping our members do that for several years now. And the first one is scary. The second one is a little nerve wracking. That third one, you're like, I just want to talk to you. It's okay. Like you've, especially when you truly believe that it's not about your pricing, it's something else. And you don't want to burn any bridges. You want people to have a relationship with you. One of the questions that we get a lot is how important, and so this is, I'm going to shift gears a little bit. How important is trust in these sales relationships? And so if you've built a nice trusting relationship, you feel confident to say, hey, listen, we spent some time together. What happened? What didn't I do? So Ron or Michelle, how important is trust in a sales relationship?
I would say it's everything. I mean, I always call it building the know, like, and trust factor. You're doing it, like Ron was saying earlier, you're always selling in a firm. You're selling to current clients, new clients, prospects. And selling is a form of building trust at all elements and all stages of the game. So trust is the foundation. Like a house has a foundation. I would say someone like, why now? I can just keep talking to you because you're the only one here on video. But why these 10 people maybe didn't convert is they just didn't trust 100%. Right? When people buy as well, they buy certainty and confidence. They buy from people that are confident, but they also are buying certainty. They want to be certain that, I know you're the best person, that you can do it, and that you're going to help them with, cash flow and getting paid first and all the things that you do with Profit First.
Yeah.
So
But
sometimes there's uncertainty that's there.
well, here's the issue too. You're all trusted advisors. You're competing against trusted advisors. You're all supposed to be trusted. You're handling numbers, you're handling security, personal information, all of that great stuff. So how do you build the trust, right? How do you differentiate yourself from the competition? Well,
Yeah.
a couple of ways. One, niche specialization, becoming the authority, writing a book, speaking from stage, writing articles, going on podcasts, hoping podcasts. So if you lack the confidence, okay, well, by building yourself as the authority, okay, that's built in trust. Okay. So how do you elevate yourself from the trusted advisor to the authority? Think about going through that exercise. What is your firm known for? If I were to take 5 accounting bookkeeping websites and just say I put them in that Yahtzee shaker, and there's all your websites are in my Yahtzee, and I throw them all out, I guarantee pretty much 90% of them are going to look the same. Maybe different pictures, but everybody's cloud-based, everybody's on time, everybody's friendly, everybody, is accurate. Everybody's a consultant, everybody's this, everybody. What do you really do that makes a difference to the bottom line that isn't spun into a commodity type service like I saved you on taxes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is the business reason why I should leave what I have now and go to you? What is the business case?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Why should I roll the dice and probably pay more than what I'm paying now? Trust is built based on conversations, based on actions, testimonials, niche specialization, participation in the outside world. Okay. So there's a lot of different things you can do to elevate, not only yourself, but your company, your brand. Okay. What is your company known for?
I wanted to ask another question that we get quite a bit, and it's a question about anticipating the no, right? They're going to say no, right? And Linnell may be thinking that. I think, many of us are like, oh man, I don't feel it. They were very quiet on the call. They didn't give a lot of information. They didn't fill out my form. I'm just assuming they say no. they're going to say no. So there's, to me, there are a couple ways to play that game, but how do you all anticipate the no and sort of overcome it?
My voice is here, so I'll talk. I got more hot water.
Very
So
good. There
wondering
you
where
go.
I went. I always anticipate, Liz, a yes.
Okay.
I flip it around. I always
Great.
say everyone, you know, if you landed on my calendar or you booked a phone call with me or you reached out for help, if someone did that for you, Lionel, that was like a gift. It's now our job to support them in a way for them to see that they have a problem and you're the best person to solve it. So I pretty much assume everyone wants to work with me, but not everyone maybe can, maybe it's a financial thing, a time thing. It's not that important to them. So when we do an enrollment conversation, a sales meeting, remember that you're always interviewing them as much as they might be thinking, do I want to work with you? It goes two ways. So I always assume that I've never really had anyone say, no, I don't want to work with you, Michelle. There's always something else in the way, right? Like, how am I going to commit the time? This just happened with somebody last week, actually. Like, I know she hates sales, Lionel, okay? She's just like you. She hates sales. And I said, well, why do you want to learn it? Why do you want to work with me? And she goes, well, I know I could be making more money and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, well, just a note to self too. Most people will not work harder or make a change or do something for something positive. They will work and make a change from something on the negative side. So if there's a challenge, there's a problem, they're losing money, right? Like, she's like, well, I work 4 days a week. I have plenty of time with my son. I'm doing 750,000 a year in revenue. And I was like, why change? I even told her, I go, if you hate sales and what you're doing is working, I would just not do anything. It sounds like your life's pretty good, but it's like the thing that you don't know, you don't know. I go, but you have to commit. And her thing was time, and my voice is gone. So she couldn't commit the time. So I can't work with her because I don't work with people who are not committed.
Right.
Okay.
I have this problem. I make judgments when I shouldn't. And that's wrong. That's why I need this framework. That's why I need this questionnaires. That's what, because, I might be looking at, an application, be like, oh, they're not going to be able to afford this. Oh,
Right.
they haven't been in business long enough. And I get in my own head, guys. I'll
Yeah.
be the first to admit it, and so, when I start making judgments beforehand, inevitably they go wrong. Right? What's that? If you think it will,
It
whatever.
will.
Yeah.
But if
So,
you
so,
start
so
thinking they're going to pay with an American Express card, they typically end up paying with an American Express card.
yeah. So I have to catch myself. I have to catch myself and say, okay, Ron, stop it. Okay. Right. I woke up with cranky pants or something like that. Right. Or, my coffee wasn't good. And I'm like, oh, or I just had an uncomfortable conversation and I got the sales call. I do my pre-call planning and I feel negative. I'm like, oh, this, blah, they got a shitty website. They've got revenue under this, blah, 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 blah. Like, I got to knock myself in the head and say, stop that stinky thinking.
Yeah.
Because that's what that is. Right. Anytime. So that's why I love the frameworks. That's why I love the outcome based thinking, because I need this, because I'm not like Spock.
Yeah.
Right. And so, don't judge a book by the cover. Profit First. You know how many people judge that book by the cover? Let me tell you, don't judge a book by the cover. You never know. That's why you want to have, a pre-call planning. How do I know this is really going to work? How do I know if I need to cut bait? How do I know if I want to send a proposal? So we're pre-planning all of these on an individual basis,
Yeah.
because sometimes people will put in their applications, they might say, hey, I'm looking for accounting. but they don't know what they're really looking for. They might be
No.
looking for controllership, accounting, tax, bookkeeping, all sorts of stuff.
Ron, I cannot tell you how many people put on their applications that their biggest challenge with their firm around sales is lead generation. So most people
Oh,
think that they have their sales problem is leads, marketing. But marketing and sales are two completely different things, because sales is about converting a lead, and a lead is from your efforts of your marketing. But I'd say, so if I just went based on applications, I probably wouldn't have many clients. I ignore it. An application just, oh, I don't ignore it, I read it. But an application just tells me that you can follow directions, because I have a lot of homework in my program. So we're looking for people who can just follow directions. So it's a step. Lionel, you and your firm, you want people to upload documents on time. You want them to make sure they get you legible and readable PDFs of their bank statements or whatever, give you QuickBooks access. Like, your clients actually have to do something for you to help them, right? A qualification questionnaire is just a tool to help you make sure that your clients are following your directions and that they're going to be good students or good patients, right? Like, a doctor won't perform surgery if my boyfriend didn't go see the cardiologist, get the MRI, get the x-ray. Like, he had a whole to-do list. They're not going to do surgery if you don't do the to-do list, right? Why are we doing things in our firm for clients that don't follow through on our to-do list?
yeah, that's also us too. We have to do what we say we're going to do by when we say
Right.
we're going to do it.
Right.
That's another thing.
So we only have a few minutes
Yeah.
left. We only have a few minutes left, and I have two things I want to share. First of all, I'm going to share this document. So Michelle shared her framework. I wanted to share the one that Ron and I use here at Profit First Professionals. It's called Value Starts with Hello. This, you can find it on our website, but it's what we will walk through with our members. Very similar. Again, sales is there's nothing. It's not too dissimilar. It's really follow a framework that speaks to you, follow a framework that matches your voice. And after I say that, make it your own. If there's something in here that you're like, I will never do that. Okay, fine. Try it. Don't do it. Let's try something else. So
Yeah.
I wanted to share that. And then I also am going to share, just for the sake of time, I'm going to share my screen because I do have Ron and Michelle. Hold on, where's my screen? Here we go. So Michelle, you can talk about what the abundant call is, but if anyone's interested in learning more or spending time with Michelle, you can use this QR code and it will take you to the abundant call, which is her call to get people wrapped up into there. And then she put it in the chat too.
Yeah.
Perfect. Do you want to share what that is?
Yeah. So basically, if, like, Lionel, I'll just talk to you because you're the only one on video. But if you're sick and tired of the way things have been going in your firm, right? You're sick of being ghosted, or you're sick of feeling burnt out, or you're sick of the missed revenue, and you realize that you want to create a sales process in your firm because what you've got happening right now isn't working, then you can go to theabundantcall.com and talk to me or Denise next week. We're already full this week because I can't do these right now, but next week I'll be fine. And that's what it is. So, if you're really ready to elevate your firm to new heights, you can have a complimentary strategy session. So we'll talk more about, like, what I shared with you today, Lionel, those questions. And then we assess your current sales process if you have one, but also what are those key opportunities and how do you develop a tailored plan for your firm? And then if you want our help implementing that, then we can discuss that too. And that's where the time commitment comes in. And if not, no hard feelings, at least you'll have a good game plan of what you should do next, along with Ron and Liz's PDF. But regardless of the path you take, I always say indecision is the only thing that holds us back from change, right?
Yeah.
So I always say take the first step forward to have a more prosperous and more vibrant firm and not feel, for you, Lionel, sad and frustrated, right? I just listened to the words you told me and I'm just repeating them back to you, by the way. But I don't I hate seeing firm owners sad and frustrated. So whatever it takes, we're here to support you. And you can do that at theabundantcall.com. We have some spots next week.
Awesome.
Take her up on it. Our members do.
Exactly. And then we also have, we wanted to offer for you all to run, if you want to explain what our discovery call looks like and what that is.
Yeah. So our discovery call is, we're looking for a few more accounting, bookkeeping, and coaching firms to join us on our mission to eradicate entrepreneurial poverty. If you're interested in learning more and having a conversation, just, schedule your discovery call. You and I, or you, me and Liz, or you and Liz will have a conversation and we'll figure this stuff out together.
Yeah. Yeah. And you'll see if you put the code in, it'll be a waive 250 and we'll waive the deposit fee because you're joining us here today. But
Yes, that's right.
yeah.
So
So
it's funny. So this is a technique too, guys. If you don't want people kicking your tires, well, then, that's the problem we've had is
yes.
I'd get calls, Ron, what does the Profit First book say? Oh, I'm not here to read you the book. So we have a $250 refundable deposit, right? That just gets rid of the tire kickers, even though it's refundable. Okay. Right. People will be like, well, it weeds people out. We only want to be talking to those that are dead serious, just like you. And so everything that we're sharing here are things that we've applied ourselves.
Yeah.
So with that said, thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure. And as always, may the profits be with you. And I look forward to working with you.
All right. Thanks
Thanks,
everybody.
everyone. Have a great day. Thanks,
Have
Lynette.
a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Christina. Bye,
Bye.
Lynn.